Welcome to another episode. In today's video, I want to look into the wounded feminine. I want to look into those energies that we actually barely accepted in our life. And it has been in many people an issue because we haven't really fully expressed the feminine side of us. Now, if you're a woman or if you're a man, it doesn't matter because we do hold both energies. Imagine this. Each of us has energies that are more in a feminine side, more in a creative side, in an inspired way of doing things, and then we have, on the other hand, we have the doing part, right? So now imagine if you're only in the doing, on how this is actually giving you exhaustion in life, right? This is exhausting you because you're driving only in the doing, but you forget that the being is as much important as the doing. That's why so many people start to realize, hey, wait a second, I feel burned out. I can't anymore. I can't anymore just perform. I can't anymore just be in this performing side, in the doing. I just need to learn how to sit in stillness, how to just be, allow myself to just feel. Now, I don't know about you, but I haven't been in a place where it was like, hey, what do you feel today? How are you? You know what I mean? It was like, you feel good, right? That was, the expression of how are you was pretty simple. It was mostly good, right? You're similar to me. You didn't really know what it really means to not say good, right? I mean, maybe your vocabulary was also about good, bad, feeling tired. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, really? That's it? And I was like, yeah, that's it. You know what I mean? Like, that's it. Like, that's all I can say. And I want to bring this a little bit closer to you, okay? I want to encourage you, even if you're a male, or especially if you're a male, it doesn't matter, because the being and the doing needs to be in alignment with what you're doing every single day, in the way on how you're doing your work, for example, and how you're doing relationships, okay? There is not always only the doing part that is important. The masculine side and the feminine side needs to be in alignment. Now, there are people who drive a little bit more in the masculine and drive a little bit, or the other way around, drive a little bit more in the feminine side, right? I definitely drive in the masculine side, right? I have a lot of drive, and I can go really deep on that. What I had to learn, though, was to accept my feminine side. And the reason why I haven't really done that was because that feminine side is not bringing any success, like our success, right? It doesn't bring you any money to just be. I mean, hello, right? It's like there is no success like the success that we know visible, right? But on a long run, you feel more in peace, you feel more in alignment, because you feel more creative, more inspired, more in your essence, right? You can feel how everything is kind of like going together, right? And so I find the more I'm getting in touch with my feminine side, the more I'm actually in the flow of life. Because let's be real, a woman is giving birth, right? We are birthing something, creating outside of you. Now, this doesn't matter if you're a male or a female, okay, in a gender-wise. It has to do with the feminine energy is here to give birth to something new, right? You are creating in your chaos, in your wildness. Now, if you're not allowing that to come up, to flourish, right? You kind of feel like exhausted, and you feel pushed down. I felt pretty much pushed down all my life. I tried so much to be good enough in certain ways, and it's an extreme way of how women have been suppressed during all those years. You know, we have been playing the game very masculine oriented, very go-getting, very driven, very performant oriented, right? If you're only having this and this diploma, you're not good enough. You have to go more. You have to do more. I mean, just a couple of years ago, I heard from a very close person of mine who was telling me, now that you are a coach, I'm not actually proud of you anymore. And I was like, huh? I'm finally following my inner guidance, okay? My inner guidance is strongly female oriented, strongly in this flow where you're just in the being side, okay? It's sometimes really hard to explain, actually. It's like you go really with the feeling, you go with your emotions. That's why you have to learn more about your emotions. You have to learn how to ride your emotions, and that you are not your emotions, but there are certain guidelines that you can use to go from A to B. And so if you're driving like the masculine who is just on the fast speedboat, you're never going to reach that end. I mean, and that was what I was doing all the time. I tried to reach my goal with doing more, right? I mean, you have just not done enough. That's why you haven't reached your goal. That's why you're not successful. That's why you're not receiving that love, right? That's it, right? I thought that's the reason you're not disciplined enough. You need to have more discipline. You need to be more like this, right? That's what I learned. It's kind of like the punishment. You don't reach a goal, or you don't reach the goals that are good looking, right, from the outside. You get punished, right? It's kind of funny. I mean, now that I think about it, it's kind of funny. But back then, it wasn't that funny. So if you're in that state, don't take this personal at all. It's not. I know how that feels. And so what I really would recommend is to start to see the feelings, right? I mean, those really, really cool emotions that are actually giving us direction, okay? It's such a useful tool, and all we are doing is suppressing them. I mean, when you really think about it, it's kind of like, what? I have this inside of me, this tool, and I'm not using it because I have no idea that this exists. It's kind of like a no-brainer to start to get to know how that works, no? I mean, for me, it's a kind of a no-brainer. Because why would I not use something so cool that is not burning me out anymore? Why wouldn't I start to learn how to ride those waves, right? To be in that emotion. And they are all sitting down here. You can't see. So all the way down here in the pelvis area. That's generally where those hard ones, hard emotions are sitting. And what I mean by that is we need to start to create from that area, because that is the area that holds so much power. It's the area where we have certain beliefs We have maybe even fear and hate and all of that. They're quite heavy, or they can be quite heavy. Now, the cool thing about that is that you already have the fuel to get to where you want to go. All you have to do is to transform that. And the way how you do that is with the feminine, because the feminine energy is soft, is gentle, is nourishing, it's motherly, right? It's kind of this motherly energy that is just hugging you, whatever is there. There is no like, oh, you're not receiving it because you haven't done enough. There's nothing like this. Nothing like this exists in that area. That's like when you start to realign that connection, you're like, whoa, and I waited all my life to receive that? Holy moly, why did I do that? Well, that's how we grew up, right? That's what we learned. And so when you start to really dig into those emotions that are helping you to transform, right? To get this into your heart space, and then you follow your heart space. If I lost you at this moment because you are like, I have no idea what you're talking about, I have no clue, go and watch the other video 2 days ago where I talk about feminine and masculine energy, or basically the mother and the father wound, okay? Because it's directly related to this a video, and it gives you another insight on what we are talking here. And so when you are transforming that energy and you're pulling it all the way up, okay, until your heart, and you hand it over to your heart, and you just explore how it feels when all that is heavy, you just hand it over to your heart and you just let it soften. That's the most crucial thing that you should take away from this video. The feminine, what it does for me, okay, it's very personal. Not everyone feels the same, and so you got to figure out how it works for you. For me, it's about softening. It's about breaking those walls. If you are a woman and you are in this hardship, right? You're very aggressive in a sense of always kind of protecting, because there are so many evil people around, right? You kind of protect yourself. Also, you want to protect maybe people who are close to you, because you feel like you have to protect them because the world is dangerous. You have to always be aware of what's going on. It's like you're hypersensitive on very, let's say, I don't know anymore where I wanted to go with this. Ooh, it will come back. Okay. Anyways, if you're a woman who has this kind of angriness inside of her, okay, and this is usual people who are, when they talk, you can sense they use quite a lot of black humor or sarcasm. They use like a lot of shaming, I would say, and guilting. They're quite judgmental, and they use things to make themselves feel better. Kind of like, thanks God I'm not in their situation. I mean, thanks God, right? Like, something like this. Or look at this person, who is she to blah blah blah. It's quite the way how they behave, and I know what I'm talking about because I was one of them. The way how they behave is quite they show up as very confident. Well, they're not at all. They're very, very hurt, because they haven't been seen as a child. They haven't been nourished. They haven't really received the love they need. And so they have a protective wall around them. That's why as soon as I see a woman who is like this, I immediately have to hug you, because I know how it feels like. And I'm just gonna burn it, like just burn that wall. It's like, hello. And then some of them get really creeped because they're like, I'm not ready for this. Like, I'm not ready to let my walls down, you know, I'm not ready, I'm not ready, I'm not ready. And then I'm like, and are you now? Because I will wait, right? I will wait until you're ready to go for it. And when they do, when they start to let their walls down, and when they start to allow their feminine side in again, right? It's because they have repressed their feminine side. And so what they're doing is they create that wound that they cannot be in their feminine essence. It's not okay to show up like that, right? We don't show up like this. Female is bad. Feminine energy is bad. Being a woman is bad, right? We push it down. And it's because we have been trained a long time to do that. And you can see this in the world where women are punished for speaking up for themselves now, wanting to show their hair. I mean, what is that all about, right? I mean, being punished for showing up who you are, that should be a human right. Showing up your hair should be a human right. It's not. It's still not the case. So it's not your fault that you feel all this blame and shame and that you're hurt. You have to start to open up. And you have to bring this awareness to you to receive that inner love from yourself generally first, because it's hard to receive it from someone else. You cannot really receive what you are not, right? This is about attraction too. You usually attract who you are, not what you want, not what you wish for. You attract who you are. So if you are not in that place of receiving love, and I tell you, I have not been in a place where I was able to hold the container, okay, like the jumpsuit, to receive love pretty much all my life, because I haven't learned how that looks like. And there has not been really anyone who was showing that to me, how that looks like. I didn't really had a figure who I could see, this is normal. This is how we do. So it was really like, something is wrong, but I don't know what, right? I don't know what. Because I haven't really seen the picture of that pureness, of this pure intentional love, which is unconditional. It's the female that is rising up, right? Is coming up all the way to the top. And that's what you need to feel first in your own body before someone else can come in. They can crack you down a little bit. And I've seen this quite a few times actually, where they have just been melted. You know, I can see that sometimes when I talk to people, that they are softening. But then you have to keep practicing, because if you only feel safe next to me, then it's not going to work, right? It's an intentional work that is behind this whole thing. And if you want to know more, if you want to learn how to do that, then it's time for you to book a discovery call. And you can do that. All the information for that is below. And with this said, if you have enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. And also, please subscribe to the channel. It really helps to spread some more information and to help other people to really step into their power and find their find their patterns, understand more about yourself. It's so crucial because you're here to be happy, not to have a life that is just all directed from your past, right? You're not here to experience all of that again and again and again. But it is a little bit of work and it does take awareness. All right, with that said, thank you so, so, so much for being here. And I wish you a wonderful day, evening, morning, and I speak soon.